God! My God! Why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? So far from my cries of anguish? My God, I cry all day, but you do not answer. I cry by night, but I find no rest. But you are the Holy One. You are the one Israel praises. Our ancestors trusted in you. They put their trust in you and you saved them. They cried out to you and were delivered. They put their trust in you and they were not put to shame. But I am a worm and not a man. Everybody despises me. The people scorn me. Everyone who looks at me mocks me. They shake their heads, hurling insults at me, saying, "He trusts the Lord. Let the Lord deliver him. Let God rescue him, since he delights in God." But you are the one that brought me forth from the womb. You are the one that caused me to trust you from my mother's breast. From birth, you have cast me upon yourself, and from my mother's womb, you have been my God. Oh Lord, do not be far from me, because trouble is near and there is no one to help. Many bulls surround me. Strong bulls of Bashan encircle me. Like roaring lions to tear my flesh, they open their mouths wide against me. And I am poured out like water. All my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it melts within me. My mouth is dried up like a broken pot, and my tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. And you lay me in the dust of death. Dogs surround me like a vicious pack of villains. They encircle me. They have pierced my hands and my feet. All my bones are on display, and the people stare and gloat over me. They divide my garments amongst them, and for my clothing they cast lots. But you, O Lord, do not be far from me. You are my strength. Come quickly to save me. Rescue me from the sword and my precious life from the power of the lions. Save me from the mouths of dogs and from the horns of the wild oxen. And I will declare your name to my people. In the middle of the assembly, I will praise you. All you who fear Yahweh, the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, honor him. Revere him, all you descendants of Israel, because he has not despised nor scorned the suffering of his afflicted one. He has not turned his face away, but he has listened to his cry for help. The Roman soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium, that is, the palace, and the whole company of soldiers gathered around. They took a purple robe and put it on him, and twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. And they came to him saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And with a staff, they struck him on the head again and again. and they spat upon him, and falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they took the purple robe from him, put his own clothes back on, and led him away to crucify him. As they were going along, they saw a man named Simon from Cyrene from the country, a passerby, the father of Alexander and Rufus, and they laid on him the cross to carry it after Jesus. And they came to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of a skull. And there they offered Jesus wine mixed with myrrh. He refused to take it. And they crucified him, dividing up his clothes. The Roman soldiers cast lots to find out which one of them each one would get. It was the 9th hour of the morning when they crucified him, and the written inscription of the charge against him read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." They crucified 2 others with him, rebels, one on his right, the other on his left. And those who stood by hurled insult at him, shaking their heads, saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself." And the chief priests and the teachers of the law, they said amongst themselves, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down from the cross so that we may see and believe." Even those crucified with him also heaped insults upon him. And at noon, darkness covered the entire land until the 3rd hour. And at the 3rd hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And those who were standing there said, "Look, he's calling for Elijah." So one of them ran, took a sponge, soaked it in wine vinegar, put it on a branch, and held it to Jesus and said, "Now, let's leave him alone and see if Elijah comes to take him down." And then, with a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And the centurion who stood in front of Jesus and saw all these things said, "Surely this was the Son